Got an explosive running game, a stingy defense, and a 5-0 record. I'm talking about the Cardinals of Stevens Point Pacelli. Now, it's homecoming week at Pacelli, and as Brad Preter reports, the Cards are trying to stay focused and stay undefeated.
It'll be a battle of unbeatens tomorrow night at Gerke Field. Both Pacelli and La Crosse Aquinas come into the game with 5-0 records. The Cardinals have averaged almost 40 points a game, while their defense hasn't allowed any of its opponents more than a single touchdown.
Obviously, our backfield, our running backs are exceptional. We have, they gain yards and plays that you wouldn't think there would be even a hole to get through, but they get there. And our defense is outstanding. Guys like Krzyzewski and our middle linebacker core is just unbelievable.
Two running backs have done most of the damage for Pacelli. Senior Kevin Sullivan, number 32, is averaging 9 yards a carry, while junior Adam Ruda, who wears 22, is averaging 8. Each has scored 10 touchdowns in the team's first 5 games.
Basically, they've been opening up holes, gigantic holes for us to run through, and as long as they keep on doing that, man, we got a lot this year we can do.
With an unblemished record, a state ranking, and a number of talented athletes, this Pacelli team has a lot going for it. But they also have a veteran coach who knows that he can't let his team get complacent.
I don't mind it for the kids, you know, and, they got something to shoot for, but, they're always reminded that as long as you're winning, you're going to be ranked. But as soon as you lose a ball game, that ranking's really going to get knocked way down. So
while the Cardinals are careful to concentrate on each week's game, there is a long-term goal in mind.
Ever since we've been 6th, 7th graders, we've had our goal, and we're seniors, to win state, and we set it high, and we're going to try to achieve that this year.
Since freshman year, that's the way it's been. This has been our goal ever since we made it down there as freshmen. We've always wanted to go back to Camp Randall and see what it's like to do it and win it if we can.
For now, Coach Bob Rochuk just hopes his team will keep winning. He says he'll worry about a state championship when that time comes. Brad Preter, News 7 Sports, Stevens Point.
13. Let's go for a big weekend of football in Stevens Point, starting with the second-ranked Pacelli Cardinals hosting La Crosse Aquinas. But this is Jason Perkowski of the Blue Golds bursting out of the crowd, finding the right sideline, gone. 14-7 Pacelli in the second quarter, but in the third quarter, a special teams miscue. The snap is over the head of Nick Purehelm. Hey, having a good time back there running around. He tries to get out of there. Really, pretty nice run, really, but he's tackled well short of the first down yardage. 3 plays later, Pacelli's on the board again. Adam Ruda, there he goes. Pacelli's up 21-7 at that point. Pacelli goes on to win it tonight. Their homecoming is a happy one, 35-7 at Gerke Field tonight. Elsewhere on the scoreboard, let's see what we've got.
Cold night at Carson Park. The Blue Golds lost here earlier today. Tonight it's Pacelli and Regis. In the first, 14-0 Pacelli. Jesse Flagger going up top for Jason Lendon. 40-yard touchdown, 21-zip after 1. Second quarter, David Cooper goes on the right side, 12 yards out, touchdown for the Cardinals. They lead at 28-0, and they would go on to win this one rather handily. 41-0 is the final score. As Stevens Point Pacelli wins it, and now the rest.
Stevens Point Pacelli was looking for sole possession of the Central Wisconsin Catholic Conference crown tonight when they took the field against Marshfield Columbus in high school football. An undefeated season was also hanging in the balance for the Cardinals, while the Dons were hoping a win would land them a playoff berth. Pacelli took an early 13-0 lead, then the defense took over. Jeff Lilo almost getting the interception. Coach Bob Rochuk says, let's get the next one. So on the next play, Peter Shepard looking for Jason Linsmeyer, but junior Jason Ledden comes up with a great play for the interception. Later in the second quarter, it'll be Adam Ruda. He also gets the pick, helping Pacelli pitch a shutout and finish the year undefeated. No question, they'll be in the playoffs. We'll see them there as they defeat Columbus 25-0 on the final night of regular season high school football in the state of Wisconsin. WSAW-Newman also hoping to get into the playoffs, and they will know Sunday night when the private schools organization releases the pairings. Newman has defeated Assumption in its finale 42. Private schools turn in the prep football spotlight tonight as the WSAW playoffs begin at Gerke Field. It's a Friday night date for the Cardinals and the Cardinals, that is Stevens Point Pacelli and WSAW-Newman. And of course, Brad Kahn joins us from Stevens Point for a preview of tonight's game. Brad, you're there. Where am I? I'm right there. Okay.
I'm looking for you. I don't know. I assume you're back there somewhere.
Yes, I am.
There you are.
It's like Karen in that promo that she's doing. But anyway, Pacelli is unbeaten, ranked number 2 in the state small schools top 10. You got to consider the home team the favorite tonight, don't you?
Oh, I think so, absolutely. But it's going to be a heck of a game. We got two very fine teams here making the appearance in the WSAW Private Schools playoffs, and should be a great game. Not the greatest weather in the world. Tuesday night was a little nicer. It has been raining here in Stevens Point, but it's settled down a little bit, and we'll probably get this football game in fairly dry. We'll see. So as you said, it's the Cardinals and the Cardinals. I've got both coaches with me. First of all, we'll talk to Pacelli Cardinal coach Bob Rochik. And Coach, you've had a lot of good teams over the years. If you can kind of compare, how good is this team this year?
Well, it's really hard to compare teams. 9 years ago we had a 13-0 club and won a state title, but this is all together different personalities. These kids, a lot of these kids started as sophomores, and they had a couple bad years there, and then they really came out this year, and we played some real good football, and we're really happy where we're at right now.
You've got some impressive statistics this year. 2 rushers over 1,000 yards each. Pretty good passing game. What's it going to take for you guys to make it down to Madison?
Well, we've got a tough ball game here tonight. Grundy's doing a heck of a job down there with Newman, and he's got these kids really fired up, and I'm sure we're going to be in for a tough ball game here tonight.
Is this team emotionally ready, you think? I mean, I know it's always hard to compare the teams, but when you compare where these guys are at, ready to play for postseason and a lot of big honors, are they ready for that?
Well, we hope so. We had a real tough ball game last week to go undefeated, and we had a good practice this week, so we're hoping that they are. If they aren't, then we could be in for a real tough game.
Bob Rochik, thanks a lot. Good luck to you tonight.
Thanks.
Over on this side, we've got Kevin Grundy, coach of the Newman Cardinals, and certainly a 6-3 season, a pretty good performance considering you lost your speedster and your best rusher for a good portion of the season, Paul Micklig.
Well, definitely, Paul. He adds a lot offensively, and the thing you have to remember though is that. It is a team game, and we have to, we had to adjust, and Justin Skripchak and J.C. Cortez filling in for Paul when, he was out, and it's very nice to have Paul back. I won't deny that, but, we're looking to do quite a few things with him tonight.
Tonight's weather, is that going to be a problem? We're going to take a look at some highlights, some shots of some of your best players as we talk about the weather. I know you guys like to put the ball in the air once in a while, but is this going to be a bother for you at all?
Well, once in a while we like to put the ball up in the air, but we like to run the ball most of the time, and with football, it's great to play in any weather.
Especially in the postseason, and I assume you guys are really, really ready to finally get it going and play in the postseason.
It's a great opportunity to have, and the kids, they know they're in for a heck of a ball game tonight, and if they're not ready mentally, most of all, it could be a long night. But we want to do the best that we can and put forth our best effort and represent ourselves the best that we can.
Coach Kevin Grundy, good luck to you, and thanks for being with us tonight. Appreciate it. Both coaches here tonight, ready for the game. It's Newman and Pacelli, the Cardinals and the Cardinals, coming up in about a half hour here at Gerke Field. We'll have highlights of this one. Probably going to go next door and get some shots of the Pointers as they open the season in the NCHA, and we'll have all that coming up tonight at 10. For now, we're going to send it back to the studio in Jim Homestead.
All right, thank you, Brad. We got football and hockey from Point. We'll look forward to it. Talk to you later, buddy.
Sure.
Okay, the beat goes on. Meanwhile, in the World Series, of course, the Cleveland playoffs. Wausau Newman takes a 6-3 record into its Division III matchup against second-ranked and 9-0 Stevens Point Pacelli. Adam Ruda gets a great block from pulling guard Scott McCartan. Ruda ran for almost 9 yards a pop this year. The 21-yarder doesn't hurt the average. Next time with the ball, number 24 goes exactly 9 yards, powering over with a 14-0 lead. The very next play from scrimmage is Newman's big play for the night. Pat France looks to Paul Micklig. The senior sprinter is back from a broken leg, and it appears he hasn't lost too much, pulling away after the grab. On go the Jets, 73 yards. Newman trying to stay in it, but the very next play from scrimmage, backbreaker, it's Ruda again, 55 yards this time, with some great big holes to run through. Powerful Pacelli rolling to 10-0. The win tonight at Gerke Field. Final is 45-26. They'll take on Chippewa Falls McDonald, a winner over Onalaska Luther. We've been advised by the Pacelli folks that they will host the game. At least they believe so. Notified by the WSAW folks, they'll host them next Friday night at Gerke Field once again. Good news there. Elsewhere in the private schools playoffs, Racine Lutheran ends Marshfield Columbus's bid. 14-7 is the final there at Racine tonight, and Manitowoc Lutheran will play Racine Lutheran with its win over Burlington Catholic.
Carey to make it a 22-point lead. Not to be outdone by his teammate, Brolowski runs in 2 more TDs in the following 2 possessions. This one from 7 yards. The next one will be from 5 yards. That scamper would make it 42-6, and he's not camera shy, pointing at our Bill Castrovinci right here. And Pacelli goes on to win. I knew the Cardinals would win this one. Actually, it's the Pacelli Cardinals winning 45-26. Bad day for Marshfield fans. Columbus loses at Racine to Racine Lutheran.
Stevens Point Pacelli squaring off with Chippewa Falls McDonald as we continue our sojourn through the highlight zone. The winner, of course, heading to Madison again next week for the private schools title. Highlights will show you who's going. Pacelli already led 14-0 in the first one. Adam Ruda breaks free for the score, 21-0 in favor of the Cards. The Macs operate from the shotgun on every play, allowing 6'6" quarterback Ryan Stelter to throw, but Ruda would give him fits tonight. That was his second pick of the game. Took the first one back for a score. That set up another Cardinal TD. Kevin Sullivan takes it to the far side. The senior in for 6, 28-0, still in the first quarter at Gerke Field. How about a second quarter touchdown, just for good measure? Adam Ruda obliges with his third of the night. He would score 5 touchdowns and gain 153 yards in the night as Pacelli advances to the D3 title game. Final is 56-14. That championship game will take place at 6:30 a week from Sunday in Madison. 6:30 that Sunday night. They'll play Manitowoc Lutheran, a 20-0 winner over Racine Lutheran in tonight's other D3 semifinal. Well, DCF
winner goes to Madison. Points Gerke Field. It was a cold night there. They were all going for the jackets there. Not everyone would get it, but it didn't matter because they would score a lot and they would run a lot. This time Adam Ruda will pick it off. The first play from scrimmage, actually on the defensive side of the ball, Pacelli has a 7-0 lead, 14 seconds into the game. They scored first on defense, then their first play on offense. Oh, Nelly, there's the first play on offense. That's Adam Ruda again. He gets by a Garrigan tackle, scoots into the end zone, dives in, and it's 14-0.
He can tackle like the best of them.
I don't think so. The defense was tough as well. Mike Elzenrath will come up with a big sack on the shotgun here, 11-yard loss. The flag was not against the Cardinals, so they get the ball, and they go to the air, and that's when J.C. Pfluger finds Jason Leeden. That gets him down all the way to the 20-yard line of the Macs, and then Ruda would, of course, take over again. The third touchdown of the first quarter, the second one on offense, 21-0. Joe, we're still in the first quarter. We're still in the first quarter when they decide to shake things up. First, the pom-poms will be shaken up. Then they decide to run right. This time it's Kevin Sullen dodging and weaving into the end zone. 28-0 at the end of the first quarter. In the second quarter, same stuff. And Pacelli would score.
Sports Express, I'm Ted Stefaniak. It was opening night for the NBA, and the Milwaukee Bucks were in Boston. We'll check in on the NBA in just a bit. But first, we start with some high school sports. The second round of the private school football playoffs were played tonight. Stevens Point Pacelli, one of the only local teams still left in the playoffs, and they matched their 10-0 record tonight against Chippewa Falls McDonald, a team with 4 losses on the season. Let's head down to a chilly Stevens Point Gerke Field tonight. And this was the site for the Division III semifinal contest. Pacelli has been awesome this season. No need to stop now. Adam Ruda on a 33-yard touchdown scamper to make it 35-0 Pacelli. McDonald was overmatched in this one. Jeff Lilla with the interception for the Cardinals, and 64 yards later, Pacelli was back on the board again to make it 42-0 Pacelli. More to come. Ruda on the 20-yard touchdown run. Adam Ruda with 5 touchdowns tonight for Pacelli as they head to the state championship game, beating Chippewa Falls McDonald tonight 56-14.
We're going to state, and we're going to give it our best shot, It feels great. We've been working for this since 6th grade. All the whole life. Since 6th grade, we've been winning this. All we got to do is go down there, play our game. We should come out victorious, man.
And as you can tell, they are pretty excited down in Stevens Point. They're going to the state championship game. They are going to meet Manitowoc Lutheran in the championship game Sunday night, 6:30, down at Camp Randall Stadium in Madison. That's a week from this coming Sunday.
One more game tonight, WSAW Division III, Chippewa Falls McDonald and Stevens Point Pacelli. First quarter, first play for the Macs. Ryan Stelter is picked off by Adam Ruda. 19 yards untouched, 25 seconds in at 7-0. First time the Cardinals get it.
Opponent is 10-1 Manitowoc Lutheran, but the Cardinals have played their share of tough opposition already this season.
You know, when you got to play the Aquinas', the Columbuses, and the McDonald's, and then we had a real good non-conference schedule. We had played Plymouth and Sauk Prairie, Lakeland, and Kobe, which all had good ball clubs this year. So, you know, we played a lot of good ball clubs, and, you know, I think it's paying off here now.
Actually, the Cards have been preparing for the title game long before the beginning of this season.
When I was a kid as a freshman, you know, we saw what happened, you know, what Pacelli was like for a tradition in a football. And we learned from those seniors when we were freshmen. And then as sophomores, there's some of us seniors right now, we're starting to the lineup, and we went through some tough times, but we stuck together.
It's not a cakewalk to do what we've done. It's not easy at all. We started out in the beginning of August, and we put things together like they are now, and it's been a lot of hard work, and it's finally paying off.
The Stevens Point Pacelli football team has one game left on its schedule. It is the WSAW Division III State Championship game. It wasn't officially on their schedule until last Friday, but as Brad Kahn reports, the Cards whipped through their first 11 games as if the date had been penciled in from the very beginning.
Through the season, most of the teams really didn't give us that much of a challenge. We pretty much demolished everybody, and it'll be an interesting ball game. It'll probably be the toughest ball game in all year for us.
The Cardinals certainly unleashed a balanced assault on the opposition in 1995. The offense totaled 430 points on the season. Their lowest score in any game was 25. The defense, meanwhile, gave up only 77 points all year, with no team scoring more than once against them until the postseason.
You know, we've been playing good offense, good defense. Our special teams have been fairly good. You know, we really come around to football, defensively tackling, and, you know, just a good all-around ball club.
It's something that builds over the season. You know, it's not instantaneous. You got to work at it, and throughout the season, we've just been getting better to better, and the schemes in the line have been working better. The backs have been running harder and harder, and it's finally at the end of the season, it's coming together when it should be, which is real good for us.
You'll need to go back a few years to find the motivation for Pacelli's success. Most of the seniors traveled to Madison as freshmen and made it a point to return to the Camp Randall turf by the end of their high school careers.
We lost there. We lost to Marshfield Columbus down there, so we got a taste of what it was like to go down to state, and we wanted as a goal we set for our teams. We set that we wanted to get back there at our senior year, and well, just God hope that we all play the best of our ability.
We always set goals along the way. We had a couple goals. One was to go through the conference as conference champions, and the second one was to go to undefeated. So we accomplished those first two goals, and so our third goal is to win state championship, and we put ourselves in a good position to do that.
Kickoff is at 6:30 Sunday against Manitowoc Lutheran. The team hopes that celebration will be in the cards about 2 hours later. Brad Kahn, News 7 Sports, Stevens Point.
Madison, Stevens Point Pacelli, they'll be looking for their first state title since 1986. The Cardinals have dominated their opponents this year en route to an 11-0 record. Pacelli has just one more hurdle to clear before they capture the state title, and that's Manitowoc Lutheran.
Confident. I think they were confident all year, and you know, which is good. You know, we're trying to, you know, keep them in focus. You know, that it's not going to be, you know, a cakewalk over there, and that they're going to have to work hard. If they work hard, you know, the chance of winning are going to be pretty good.
Talk about winning the state title and everything. That's been our goal since 7th grade or so. That's all we want to do is win the state title. I mean, we've accomplished all of our other goals this year of winning the conference, and then, I mean, going undefeated up to this point. So we got one more left, and that's to win state.
Home their first state title since 1986. Now, Pacelli has been very, very impressive so far this season, producing an 11-0 record. Chris Lizotte previews the Cardinals, who are one win away from perfection.
All year, it's been blowout after blowout for the Stevens Point Pacelli Cardinals. And now just one more game stands between them and the state title.
All we're talking about is winning state. It's all that's on our mind during school. Sleeping at night, that's all I can think about.
Talk about winning the state title and everything. That's been our goal since 7th grade or so. That's all we want to do is win the state title.
Lee. Today, one more practice, one more time to fine-tune, prepare, and psych up for Sunday's championship game against Manitowoc Lutheran.
They've got a real good ground game, and you know, in fact, they're very similar to us, and you know, points given up and yards gained and so forth. So you know, we're looking for a real tough ball game.
For the seniors, the last practice at the muddy field behind Pacelli High School, Sunday on the turf for it all in Madison. This Cardinal squad, no lack of confidence to bring home the trophy.
We're confident, but we're never overconfident. We learned that last year from when we lost in the playoffs. We were way too overconfident that game, and we just want to come to this game focused, know what we're going to do, and go from there, I guess.
We don't take teams lightly. You know, we like think it's like they're going to be like hard. You know, we think that they're going to be better than us, and you know, we just want to go out and do our best.
I think they were confident all year, and you know, which is good. You know, we're trying to, you know, keep them in focus. You know, that it's not going to be, you know, a cakewalk over there, and that they're going to have to work hard. If they work hard, you know, the chance of winning are going to be pretty good.
Oh yeah. The dream is there for the Cardinals. One last test Sunday night.
We've been working for this for so long, and now we're to the point we're undefeated like we wanted to be, won our conference like we wanted to be. And all we got to do is go out there and play our game. I think we can win.
In Stevens Point, Chris Lazat, Newsline 9 Sports.
Full season is the WSAW
D3 title game, and for the 4th year in a row, that game features a team from the Channel 7 area. Jim Homestead has more from Madison.
The Cardinals' run to the Division III state championship was sparked by a high-scoring offense and a big play defense. Kevin Sullivan's interception halted a drive into Pacelli territory in the first quarter. Moments later, Sullivan broke loose for a 51-yard touchdown. A 5-play, 77-yard drive was complete. Sullivan added the extra point kick for a 7-0 lead. To their credit, the Lancers ripped through the Cards' defense for 162 rushing yards in the first half, and it nearly paid off in the final seconds. On 4th and goal, Lutheran tried the middle of the defense, but was stopped cold, preserving the 7-point lead at the break.
I think that was great here, because if they could have scored there and tied it 7-7, or you can went up 8-7, you know, and it could have been a different ball game.
That's the momentum right there. That changed everything. That's how can I guys say it? Oh, this is so good. This is great.
The defensive stand gave the Cardinals a big boost, much like the boost they got all season long from Sullivan and Adam Ruda out of the backfield. The pair combined for over 2,600 yards rushing coming into this game. Ruda scored 3 second-half touchdowns, including a 6-yarder behind number 66, Ken Krzyzewski. And the Pacelli defense, anchored by number 76, Mike Elzenrath, smothered the Lancers en route to the 28-0 win. It's Pacelli's 2nd state championship and 1st since 1986.
It's a great feeling. I don't even know how to describe it. It's unbelievable. It's what we've been working for. It's what we've been working for from the beginning.
Since 6th grade, we've been working for this, and we always said we were going to get down there and win it, and then when we got down there, we knew we weren't just going to go down there just to play on the turf. We knew we had to go down and win, and that's what we did.
Sully, he's really great. You know, we've been running ever since we were younger. You know, we always joke around school, you know, how many yards you get and who's better and stuff, but this night, you know, everybody just did a great job. The whole team did a great job.
Pacelli finishes its season 12-0. The Lancers finished 10-2. Jim Homestead, News 7 Sports, Madison.
Hey, there it is, Pacelli. Congratulations, guys. Winners over Manitowoc Lutheran Division II.
Of the boys of Stevens Point Pacelli. The Cardinals taking on Manitowoc Lutheran for the WSAW Division III championship. Let's go to the highlights from Madison. Bob Ratzik hoping his Cardinals could have one more good game for a perfect season. That's Kevin Sullivan rumbling down the right sideline. 41 yards in the score, 7-0 Cardinals. Cardinals owned Manitowoc Lutheran in this game. Adam Ruda with the carry. This one for 40 yards right into your living room. Cardinals win it. State champions, 28-0.
Sixth grade. Brought it home, baby. Yes, we did. We brought it home. Oh my God, I don't know. The first half, that was the biggest goal line stand of our lives. Right there.
The gold.
That's what changed the game right there. That changed it right there. Feels so good. It feels so good.
I'm really happy for our kids. These seniors have been with us for 4 years now, and they worked hard on it. And that, I think this was a fitting climax to their football career here at Pacelli.
Right there it is, 28-0, Stevens Point Pacelli, the Division III WSAW championship, beating Manitowoc Lutheran. We're going to take a quick break before we go here.
He's right, they are a good football team. Well, in case you haven't noticed, there's good football being played in the Central Wisconsin Catholic Conference. The CWCC has captured 7 WISAA state crowns in the 90s. The latest came last night as Stevens Point Pacelli finished off Manitowoc Lutheran 28-0 to cap an unbeaten 12-0 season.
Well, I don't think it's hit me yet. I don't know. It's just can't believe I'm not going to be handing the ball off to those guys anymore, or ever playing with the guys on the team anymore. I mean, it's always something good to look back and remember that we went 12-0 our final year.
Every day after practice, we the state champs. It's our chance, state champs. We talk about that every day, and now it's coming true. Now it's coming true. I can talk about this forever. This is the greatest feeling of my whole life. Right here, baby.
As you can tell, the Cardinals are pretty happy about their 2nd state title. They won their first
back in 1986.
Homestead continuing the tradition. That dates back to 1961. Once again, the recognition for Channel 7 Football All-Stars. Let's introduce you to the 1995 starting lineup on defense. The stoppers up front, led by senior All-Stater Ross Kalaji of Stevens Point area senior high. He's verbally committed to play for the Wisconsin Badgers. Senior Mike Elzenrath led Pacelli High to the private schools Division III state championship. He was the MVP in the championship game. Another standout in the trenches out of the Wisconsin Valley Conference, senior Steve Sonnenberg of Wisconsin Rapids-Lincoln. The Thorpe Cardinals on the Clover Belt Conference are represented by senior interior lineman Jeff Huziga. Wapaka's foray into the postseason was helped in part by outstanding line play by senior Tim Sanders. And what can you say about a linebacking core led by the likes of All-State senior Chris Gadorzi of Wausau West? He says he'll take his skills to Madison to play for the Badgers. A repeater from last year's Galaxy of Stars, senior Len Lutke Jr. led Marshfield to its first 7-win season since 1927. Not far down the road, Stratford was sparked by the outstanding linebacking play of senior Paul Schmidt. The leading vote-getter on the Channel 7 defensive unit is getting plenty of looks from major college recruiters. Chances are we'll see Ryan Marks playing on Saturdays for years to come. Another Wisconsin Valley Conference defender who excelled in the secondary, Rhinelander senior Jason Doring. One of 3 juniors honored on the Channel 7 Stars, Tomahawk standout Dewey Riley. The all-star punter is a senior out of Wausau West. Travis Sellner averaged 42 yards a punt and also excelled as a place kicker. 6 players came close to landing all-star recognition. They receive what we call excellent mention. They include lineman Brian Saha of Anago and Nathan Kiefer of Wausau East, linebackers Dominic Litwin of Mosinee and Ken Krzyzewski of Stevens Point Pacelli, and defensive backs Ryan Dillenbeck of Greenwood and Mark Pacina of Stevens Point area senior high. 38 players were nominated for this honor. The all-star selected by our advisory board of 38 coaches. When necessary, WSAW-TV makes the final decision. Our thanks to all coaches, administrators, and student athletes who assisted us in assembling the 1995 Channel 7 Football All-Stars.
Stevens Point Pacelli and DC Everest with their season openers this afternoon. 3-0 Cardinals when the Evergreens would finally get on the board. Nick Prigent with the grounder to third. The play at the plate, Jeff Thompson is safe. But it was still 3-1 Pacelli. After that, Jesse Pflugar closes the door on Everest. For Pflugar, 8 strikeouts in the 3-1 victory. Pflugar with 7 innings pitched and 8 strikeouts. And no.
To be right now, one of the great senior classes of 1996 has to be the boys from Stevens Point Pacelli. State champs in football, state semifinalists in basketball, and with 2 wins today, Pacelli would go to state in baseball. First, they'd have to get past Wausau Newman from Stevens Point. Go to Buchholz Park. Second inning, Pacelli already up 5-0 at the plate. Wes Swenson into the gap. J.C. Cortez has a beat on it, but Tony Schultz knocks it away from him. Adam Rosick and Jacob Stengers cross the plate. 7-0 Pacelli. Then the pass ball. In comes Kevin Sullivan. Pacelli rolls all over Newman today, 20-6. And check out the scoreboard. Then they go on to beat Onalaska Luther 5-2. Pacelli will go to state. That game will be played at Buchholz Park Friday and Saturday. State baseball covers. The rest of the baseball score.
Back this spring, it seems way too early for regional action, but that was exactly the case today in several sports on the WSA side of things, including baseball. The Cardinals of Stevens Point Pacelli hosted their own regional at Buchholz Park. Pacelli took on Wausau Newman in today's first game. Top of the first inning, Pacelli leads 2-zip. Make it 3-0. Adam Ruda slaps this single to center field. Wes Swenson will trot home from second base for the 3rd tally of the game. Next time, it'll be Swenson at the plate. He rips a shot to the gap in right center field. Watch as Newman's Tony Schultz and J.C. Cortez collide out there. That allows Adam Morozek and Jacob Stenger to cross the plate. The Cardinals get their first of 2 victories on the day. The final score in that one, they win it big, 20-6. Pacelli then wins the regional title game 5-2. They'll play in the state tournament next weekend, also in Stevens Point. Other baseball games.
To the point for tonight's private schools baseball state tournament highlights. Stevens Point Pacelli and Milwaukee Thomas More going at it. Top of the first, 2 on for Thomas Moore's Tom Gessner, and he launches a rocket over the fence in right center, and just like that, the Cavaliers are up 3-0. The Cardinals got rid of the goose egg in their half of the inning. Adam Ruda laces a double down the left field line that scores Nick Brolowski and Wes Swanson all the way from first base. Ruda would be cut down trying to stretch the play into a triple. The damage was done. As it stands right now, the game is in Pacelli's favor, 5-3 in the 5th inning as they lead Thomas More, and hopefully looking for a trip to the semifinals. Milwaukee Marquette advanced with a win over Madison Edgewood. Other scores from baseball, Milwaukee Lutheran and Waukesha Catholic Memorial are winners in the first round of play today. Milwaukee Lutheran 12, Mount Calvary nothing, and